Hello traders. The FTSE 100 is dropping sharply. It's now with almost 3% as I'm doing this market update here. The reason for this primarily is what's happening in the US. The Nasdaq 100 dropped sharply, and it does look like it's going to continue to drop as well. My forecasts on the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones slide as well have been working out good. What's next then for the FTSE 100? Should we be buying here, or should we do like everybody else and just sell in panic? Well, stick around and I'm going to share my thoughts to what's going to happen next with the FTSE 100. All right, so this is not like a single individual thing that is actually driving the FTSE 100 lower and all the other stock markets. I think it's just a combination of, for example, like the Nasdaq 100, it was up with about 89% or something like that since the lows. So you definitely need a bit of profit taking. And then you have the Federal Reserve that has done a lot for the markets, and right now doesn't look like it will do much more. Well, the head of the central bank will speak later this week about 3 times as he testifies ahead of different committees in governments, committees in the US. So we might get a bit of more input there, but I really don't think they're going to do anything right now. Then as well, you have the US presidential election coming up, and last week as well, you had things like US retail sales that did not really improve. Now, in the case of economic data, later this week, we have the PMI numbers from the UK, from the Euro area, and as well from the US. Now, US and UK did see the PMI indicators hit new highs, so maybe we'll see a continuation of that. But now we're having a bit of a sell-off, and I want to start out by showing you the Nasdaq 100 because it will impact what's going to happen with the FTSE 100 most likely. So you have this mark is pretty much trending sideways here in the Nasdaq 100. This is what we call a rectangle pattern, and difference between minimum and maximum is about 646 points. Now, we did trade below this already on Friday, and as long as we sort of trade below something like Friday's high of 11,184, I do think we can potentially come down, and the target itself is for again almost a 6% drop. So I think we can have a bit more of a drop here in this market. And what does that mean for the FTSE 100 then? Well, this is the sort of the declining wedge that we have been using here, and to try to understand this market. And we're now moving towards support, right? So we were here last week, and I said we're probably going to go a little bit higher. We went really close, and then went down a bit, and then we had that strong tumbling. And now we're so close to support. I think we could, again, if you sort of fast forward, maybe we'll see lower prices in the Nasdaq 100. I do think we can see that realistically, but of course we can have a bit of a short-term bounce, right? So we might go up a little bit here in this market, and then I think realistically it's gonna try to attack the lows again here. Now, just bear in mind, this pattern you're looking at right now here is not the best of patterns. It's not the most reliable. Trading something like the rectangle in the Nasdaq 100, being short that, is actually a better option, I think. So what's the game plan here then? Again, we might have a bit of a lift. So I just took simple Fibonacci from the very high to the very low. And I think from this level all the way up here, I think people are going to be selling. You have the actual high, which is the most important level. But to improve the risk-reward ratio on bearish positions, let's just be bearish below 6,082, and then we'll attack the low. If we do take out this low, you know, we can probably go a bit lower here. And then we'll see what happens. Now, a bit of something to bear in mind, like the Hong Kong stock market created a similar bearish pattern. The Spanish stock market created a similar bearish pattern. And then you got Eurostoxx 50 as well, trading at a similar bearish pattern. So it doesn't look too good right now. But at the same time, I don't think we're going to see a slide like we saw just on the back of COVID-19. I think we can have a bit of a bearish, maybe for a week or two, and then people are going to start to look into, you know, what's the election about, what's going to happen next. And I don't think people will take big positions just ahead of election time. So I do think we'll probably go down and then trade a little bit sideways and being range bound. So I think that's what's happening. So let's see what happens over the next couple of days. Keep an eye on the FTSE 100. I think if we do go up again to something like 5,938, people might sell. But if you are looking to take advantage of the bearish side, then I do think that something like the maybe being bearish, something like the Nasdaq 100 is probably better. I have a separate video on that on the YouTube channel, and it should actually load in just a few seconds here. All right, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more notifications like this, and as well, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat box there, and I'll do my best to try to help you. Thank you, and bye-bye.